3,500 years ago, the first great European civilization collapsed. The Minoan Empire was so rich and so inventive, it passed into legend. At its heart, on the island of Crete, stood mighty palaces. The largest of them all was Knossos. Long before the ancient Greek Empire flourished, Knossos was the biggest building in Europe. Here, Minoans lived in luxury, with Europe's first paved roads and running water. But why, at its peak, did the Minoans' world crumble? 100 kilometers north of Crete lies a much smaller island called Thera, today Santorini. 3,500 years ago, when the Minoan civilization was at its height, Thera erupted, blasting the island apart. The massive eruption ripped the heart out of Thera, and the center of the island crashed into the sea. The first the Minoans on Crete would have seen was a terrifying sight on the horizon, a plume of ash 36 kilometers high. But the volcano had another lethal legacy they couldn't escape. The explosive power of eruptions can bring a volcano crashing into the sea, pushing water up into giant waves called tsunamis. Evidence suggests that the volcano collapse on Thera produced a wave 60 meters high that traveled 100 kilometers across the open sea. Crete, directly to the south, would have felt the terrible effect right along her northern coast. But the huge waves weren't enough on their own to wipe out an entire civilization. 70 cubic kilometers of ash were also blasted into the atmosphere, and with that ash came something far more destructive: sulfurous gas. This would have had catastrophic implications for the Minoans, because large eruptions with huge amounts of sulfur dioxide can drastically alter the climate. Evidence of extreme climate change at this precise time has been found in tree rings from Ireland and ice core samples from Greenland. Scientists now believe the volcano's aftermath so damaged the Minoans' climate that the harvests failed repeatedly. But clay tablets written in Minoan decades after the eruption prove that some aspects of their culture survived well after the blast and its immediate aftermath. It was fully 50 years after the eruption that a new script appeared, an ancient form of Greek, the language of the Minoans' conquerors. Archaeological evidence now points to a collapse in the divine authority of the political and religious centers like Knossos, part of a steady fragmentation of Minoan society in the 50-year period after the eruption itself. A power vacuum had been precipitated, and into this vacuum the mainland Greeks marched and ended Minoan culture and civilization. To the unfortunate Minoans, it must have seemed that nature in the form of the volcano, the giant waves, and the climate change had betrayed them. Desperate to repel these strange new terrors, people turned away from their kings, took religion into their own hands. Order turned to chaos. In desperation, some Minoans were driven to terrifying extremes to win back their gods. They even sacrificed children, the greatest offering they had. The mystery was solved. The first great European civilization prompted by the horrific eruption had eventually ended in self-destruction.